Every once in a while, a story that begins as television chatter turns into something far more personal. That is exactly what has happened in the orbit of Savannah Guthrie and HodaKotb. What started as breathless online speculation about a truth finally revealed has slowly softened into something deeper and more reflective. In recent weeks, Savannah has been navigating the unimaginable strain of her mother Nancy's disappearance in Arizona. At the same time, Hoda made a heartfelt appearance on the Today set that sparked emotional reactions from viewers nationwide. The internet, of course, rushed to label it a bombshell, but what unfolded was less scandal and more sisterhood. Behind the headlines and viral hashtags are two women who have spent years building trust on camera, and more importantly, behind it. And sometimes the most powerful truths are not explosive at all, they are tender. A return to Studio 1A on a February morning inside Studio 1A, Hoda returned not as a headline maker but as a friend. She has stepped back from the relentless pre-dawn schedule in recent months, choosing more time with her daughters and new creative projects. Yet her presence that day felt intentional. The set carried its usual rhythm, coffee mugs clinking, producers whispering cues, but there was a noticeable emotional undercurrent. Savannah has been away from the desk while focusing on her family, and the absence has been felt deeply by colleagues and viewers alike. When Hoda settled into that familiar orange couch, her message was simple: support. She spoke about strength, about showing up for the people you love, and about the quiet resilience Savannah has always embodied. There were no dramatic accusations, no shocking confessions, just visible care and steadiness. The bond behind the broadcast. It is easy to forget that morning television partnerships are not just professional arrangements. They are long-term relationships forged under pressure. Since officially co-anchoring together in 2018, Hoda and Savannah have weathered global crises, elections, pandemics, and personal milestones in front of millions. Their chemistry often appears effortless, but like any close friendship, it has required honesty and growth. Hoda has frequently described Savannah as a sister, while Savannah has credited Hoda with bringing warmth and levity into serious moments. That dynamic became especially visible during challenging newsroom transitions years ago, when steadiness mattered most. Over time, viewers stopped seeing them as individual anchors and began seeing them as a duo, a balance of thoughtful journalism and heartfelt connection. It is that shared history that made Hoda's recent emotional comments resonate so strongly. Stories of quiet support. During her on-air remarks, Hoda referenced a moment years earlier when she and Savannah leaned on one another during personal struggles. She did not offer sensational details. Instead, she described a late-night conversation in a green room after a particularly overwhelming week. Two women, exhausted, honest, and unfiltered. It was a reminder that public confidence often coexists with private vulnerability. Hoda shared that they made a simple promise then: to speak truth to each other, to support without judgment, and to protect one another's light. That phrase, "protect her light," has since echoed across social media, not as gossip fuel, but as a mantra about friendship. The so-called truth Hoda revealed was not scandalous. It was that strength is rarely solitary, and even the most composed figures sometimes need someone steady beside them. Savannah's strength in the spotlight. Savannah's public composure during her mother's disappearance has drawn admiration. Viewers have seen brief statements thanking search teams and asking for continued prayers, but otherwise she has remained largely private. That restraint reflects the same discipline she brings to journalism: measured, careful, thoughtful. Hoda's reflection offered context rather than contradiction. She suggested that Savannah's calm is not emotional distance, but learned resilience. It is possible to carry heartbreak and still speak with clarity. For years, Savannah has interviewed leaders, navigated breaking news, and handled high-pressure broadcasts with grace. Now she is applying that steadiness to something deeply personal. Hoda's message seemed to say, do not mistake composure for indifference. Sometimes composure is courage. Life beyond the desk. Both women have evolved beyond the anchor desk in recent years. Hoda has expanded into podcasting, philanthropy, and motherhood in a way that reflects her desire for balance. Savannah has authored books rooted in faith and reflection, sharing essays about gratitude and perspective. Their off-camera worlds have shaped who they are on screen. When Hoda stepped away from the daily grind, she did so thoughtfully, emphasizing that seasons of life shift priorities. That context matters. Her recent appearance was not about reclaiming a spotlight, but about standing beside a friend. In an era when media narratives often lean toward rivalry or tension, their dynamic offers a quieter alternative: growth without fracture. Why the rumors spread? In today's digital landscape, any emotional television moment can spiral into speculation within minutes. Clips are edited, captions are dramatized, and nuance is often lost. The idea that Hoda had finally told the truth about Savannah made for irresistible clickbait. But what many viewers discovered upon watching the full segment was something far more grounded. There was no hidden feud, no explosive letter, no secret betrayal. Instead, there was empathy. It is a reminder that headlines are designed to grab attention, not necessarily reflect reality. When people feel connected to public figures, they sometimes project intrigue where none exists. The real story here is less dramatic, but arguably more meaningful. A public affirmation of loyalty during private pain, the weight of shared history. Friendships built over years carry layers that outsiders rarely see. Hoda and Savannah have celebrated births, supported each other through health scares, and navigated career crossroads together. That shared history creates a foundation strong enough to withstand rumors. It also explains why Hoda's words felt intimate without being inappropriate. She was not exposing secrets, she was honoring memory. When she spoke about standing by Savannah during earlier challenges, it reinforced the idea that support is reciprocal. Sometimes one person leads with strength, other times the roles reverse. That rhythm is natural in enduring bonds. Watching it unfold on national television reminded viewers that authenticity still has a place in media spaces often criticized for Polish overdepth. A moment bigger than ratings. Some critics questioned whether the emotional segment was timed for viewership impact, yet reducing it to ratings misses the broader human dimension. Morning television has long functioned as communal space, where viewers process national events, celebrate milestones, and confront heartbreak together. In that context, Hoda's comments felt less like strategy and more like solidarity. Savannah's absence has been noticeable, and acknowledging it openly respects the audience's connection to her. Rather than ignoring the obvious, the show addressed it with warmth. That transparency can strengthen trust rather than exploit emotion. When handled carefully, vulnerability does not diminish professionalism, it enhances it. Holding space for hope as the search for Nancy continues, uncertainty remains heavy. For Savannah, that uncertainty is not a storyline but lived reality. Hoda's message ultimately circled back to hope, the belief that community matters, that prayers and persistence count, and that no one carries hardship alone. The truth revealed that morning was simple yet powerful. Behind polished broadcasts are real friendships, behind composed statements are beating hearts, and behind every viral headline is a story far more human than it first appears. In a culture quick to assume drama, perhaps the most refreshing revelation is this: sometimes loyalty is the only truth worth telling.